Hi, I'm Virginia from Right Clinic, and here with me today is Tiarnan. He is the co-founder of KeSocials, a healthcare marketing agency. Thank you for joining me today, Tiarnan.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, first question, what do you do?
Yeah, so as you said, I'm co-founder of KeSocials. So KeSocials is a healthcare marketing agency. So what we do is digital advertising and digital marketing for doctors who either want to target other doctors, want to target patients, or want to target medical students. So that's what we do on social media, email marketing, and digital advertising, like Facebook advertising, for example.
Brilliant. And how did you get into that?
So when I joined medical school, it was actually at the start of the kind of COVID lockdown time. Um, and I wanted to get into tutoring, so like different forms of tuition and helping people get into medical school. So I set up an Instagram page to advertise that. And then I found out that I was actually really interested in working out how I could grow this Instagram page and why some people had huge Instagram followings, how did they get them, what are the different things that you have to do. So I kind of got really interested in that. From there, I got interested in some other social media platforms, and then actually thought social media is really interesting, but I started looking more into emails that people were sending me and thinking like what goes into this email before it gets sent. So I got really interested in building newsletters and kind of looking a bit more into copywriting. And then from there, Facebook advertising as well. And from that, it's just grown massively. So I initially started taking over some people's profiles, like social media profiles and emails and that sort of thing. And then when I basically had too many clients that I could handle myself, I built a team around me so that we manage quite a lot of different social media pages and newsletters and stuff now.
That's amazing. So you're kind of juggling a lot of different things and lots of different profiles and social media channels. So do you specialize in Instagram or LinkedIn or any other social media channels, or do you kind of just do everything?
So the main platforms that I would say we specialize are Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Although I personally quite enjoy YouTube as well, so that's one of the areas that I like to have a grasp on. The reason we specialize in those channels is because the people that we work with, doctors specifically, their target audience, whether it's patients, medical students, or other doctors, tend to be on those platforms. So that's the platforms that we work with most.
Brilliant. That's great. Great targeting there for your business. So what do you wish you earlier that you know now?
When it comes to kind of building a team and service delivery, I think one of the things that's been really important for us is having really clear communication. And especially in the past few months, I've noticed when we've been building a team around us, being able to communicate things that that you kind of take for granted. For example, when it comes to running social media pages, when we're helping our own social media managers get set up on different profiles. For us, it was almost, oh, it's just running an Instagram page and it's nearly second nature at this point. But when we're trying to, help our clients or help someone on our team with problems that they have with Instagram pages, or for example, it's actually we now have spreadsheets upon spreadsheets of different workflows that actually have to go on. And when you think about just running an Instagram page, it sounds very basic, but actually we've got spreadsheets with kind of 40, 50 rows of different things that need to happen at different times. So just being a bit more clear with systems, I suppose, is the thing that I wish I knew, kind of 12, 18 months ago.
Yeah, I suppose it runs a parallel with medical writing briefs because you need to have a system before you start doing the work in terms of writing or running that social media channel. So it's really interesting to hear that you kind of jumped into it and then you thought about it and then you built these systems. So how big is your team?
So we've kind of got a few core members of the team, but what we realized when we started was, we kind of did everything. There was a couple of us doing absolutely everything, and obviously that's not very scalable. And when new clients come on board, everything ends up kind of going up in there because you're trying to juggle too much. So
Yeah.
what we've done now is we've got kind of graphic designers that work ad hoc when we need them. We've got video editors that work ad hoc, and then social media managers as well. Um, and it kind of changes depending on how many clients we're balancing at one time. But we can have three clients that onboard in the space of 2 weeks, and all of a sudden we need a lot more help. So it's very variable and can be quite flexible as well.
Amazing. That's really interesting to know. And I suppose that is the very popular agency model as I experienced in a medcoms agency, where you'd have the core team of writers, and then you would get clients, and then you would have to hire more resources. So that means more people working together, and there's big opportunity for freelancers in every respect, like graphic designers, SEO experts, and writers as well, and also managers, project managers, social media managers. They all work together to deliver a complete service. So I love that you have all of those different types of people that you're working with. And so what would be your top tips for people who want to do what you're doing?
When it comes to healthcare marketing, if someone wanted to get started with it, I think one of the biggest lessons that we continually learn, but it's almost that it kind of surfaces every so often, and we have to relearn it again because you think you've got it, but you maybe haven't got it quite yet. Is when you're creating content on different social media platforms or for your newsletters, it's really making that content as specific as possible to your target audience. It can be very easy to get caught up in I'm going to post something because I know it's going to get a really, it's going to go viral on TikTok, I hope, or I'm only posting it for that sake. Um, but when it actually comes down to it, you can have a fantastic Instagram page, for example, but there's no sales coming off of the back of it, or there's no end goal with it. All you've done is grow an Instagram page. So something that we do when we sit down with people as part of the onboarding process is work out what their goals actually are for healthcare clinics, for example. Some of them only want to kind of social proof their actual clinic, and it's fine. They say we've got enough patients. Really, we don't need anyone else being sent here. But what we'd like to do is establish the doctors that are working here as industry leaders, and that's fine. Other people say no, we want our phone to be ringing 4 times per day. We want they've got extra numbers that they want to hit, and they want to use their social media to do that. So creating a content plan and a content strategy across the different platforms that is actually congruent with what the outcome that the client wants. That's the center of what we do, and it's the thing that you can constantly keep learning about and adjusting and improving on. That's the main thing. It's not, when you bring on someone new, it's not how can we get them the biggest page. It's how can we make sure that we're hitting the goals that they actually want to hit.
Amazing. So it's really interesting to hear the different goals that healthcare clinics have. And I think, if you are not on the internet right now, in any kind of social media presence, it's almost like you don't exist. So, you know, having a website is one thing, but having no social media presence kind of already makes people wary about who you are, if they can trust you, because everyone is online for hours a day. So I think it's really important people invest in, their internet presence, whether that's social media or their website, and optimizing for their goals. So it's lovely to see that you are helping healthcare clinics and professionals to work towards that and offering that advice as a service. And I guess the next question is, what's next on the horizon for you?
Yeah, so kind of jumping off the back of the healthcare clinics comment, that's what we're kind of pushing towards at the moment. So a lot of people we work with have been doctors targeting doctors or doctors targeting medical students. And what we've done slightly more recently is get into the kind of industry of doctors that are targeting patients. A lot of um, healthcare clinics that work kind of NHS and private or just private healthcare clinics. And that's been really exciting because it's given us the opportunity to do a lot of video content with these healthcare professionals, with these orthopedic surgeons and stuff, which is really interesting, slightly different than what we've done in the past. So we've got some filming days coming up quite soon in the next few weeks and next few months, which will be exciting. Aside from that, I work with QuesMed as well. So I'm still doing work at like freshers fairs for universities, going and promoting QuesMed. So the kind of marketing space for medical education and healthcare marketing, it is very, very variable in what we can be doing. And when you just look over the next 3 months, there's a lot of different things going on.
Yeah, it's so true. And we recently met, me and you, in person last week at YouTube Health. So it's very topical that you bring that up, because there's a big drive to get more healthcare professionals to create health content. And one of the benefits of that is people will find your content online and they will learn about health conditions, and maybe even the services that you offer in your clinic. And so there's a big opportunity to be a verified healthcare professional on YouTube now, and they are the first social media platform to do that, and hopefully other platforms will have a kind of standardized process that YouTube has built, after consulting with the NHS and the Academy of Medical Royal Colleges. So, I can definitely see the kind of need for your service to optimize a YouTube channel, for example, and then that kind of has a domino effect to move that content where you can repurpose it onto Instagram or your website. And that can help boost your business. So, as much as you're creating healthcare content, which is much needed and searchable, you have the opportunity to appear on a health shelf, and that can help boost your business. And I think people are hopefully going to be waking up to that opportunity and definitely seek out your services to help them make the most of it. So, any final words?
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. It's super exciting that we're able to help doctors that want to get online actually get a social media presence. And sometimes we hear people say, what's the point in having a social media presence as a doctor, as a healthcare clinic? And
Yeah.
that whole idea of, you know, in the past, maybe people just viewed your website. Now people go to your website, scroll to the bottom and click your Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn. If you don't have those there and you're, another clinic in the area does, it's such a, it's not an easy thing to set up, but it's almost straightforward in that it makes sense to do it. So we're just trying to help as many doctors and other healthcare professionals do that, really.
Yeah. And I think once you invest in that and you have your, organic presence, as we like to call it, or paid presence, then you have all that content constantly working for you. So once you create it, it's always going to be there and it's searchable. And if it's great content and it outperforms your competitors, then it gives you that edge. And people can see that you're putting in the effort to make yourself known, and they'll learn more about you and trust you. And then, they'll come to you, they'll see you as the authority. So I love that. It's brilliant. It's so important to highlight the importance of social media. And yeah, I think we'll end on that note. So thank you so much. I'll leave links in the description so that you can connect with Tiarnan and find out more about KeSocials, and anything else that you want me to link to in the bottom. I'll leave it there for our audience to have a look. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you at the next episode. Bye.
Thanks.